Hi, welcome to Musicians Hangout with your hosts, Crash Fistfight and Maxine Maxwell.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. It's so great to be back. Happy Wednesday. I'm feeling better too. I was under the weather last week and I'm all better. So thanks for all the shout outs to me and to hubby, because we were not feeling well and had to cancel our concert last week. We'll let you all know when we're back out there. All right.
There goes Pat.
Yeah, my bad. Tyler keeps texting.
Hi, Pat.
Hey, Tyler keeps texting and jacking my shit up here. Hold on.
He's having an earthquake. All right, we have an awesome night planned for all of you and with some amazing guest hosts. And with that being said, I'll go over our mission statement and start introducing everyone for tonight. All right, Musicians Hangout mission statement is to be part of a revolution to create friendships with other artists and build a community network to save music. So thank you so much for joining our community. Welcome, Permian.
Yes.
Yay.
Welcome.
All right, so we would love to hear all about you tonight. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. I guess Shredder All Mode. What is your name?
My real name is Zach Sutter.
In the band.
When we started this whole deal, I responded to the bass player Zed that's no longer with us. I'm a guitar player, so I write most of the music in the band and stuff. And I'm in another metal band here locally in Tacoma, Washington. It's more of a thrash metal band, kind of like old school Megadeth and Metallica, stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah.
So I kind of branched out.
That band?
Toxic Rain, REIGN, like reign of evil.
Oh, like you're reigning the world.
Yeah. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of an old school 80s metal, speed metal stuff. And the bass player that's no longer with us was more into like melodic death metal stuff. So I figured, the speed metal is kind of one-dimensional in that regard. So I wanted to kind of do something more esoteric that has a little less limitation. So that's how we met Zordia. She was literally, I think, the first or second person that replied to our ad for the vocalist. And Tyler, who's not with us, the drummer, is someone Rich knew. And Pat's really good friends with Tyler. And after Rich kind of split, that's how we got Pat there.
Yeah, actually,
nice.
I did not respond to their ad. I actually put out my own ad. Looking to find my own band.
And you found each other.
And Richard reached out to me and was like, hey, I know you're looking for your own band, but would you be willing to audition for ours? And I live in Everett and they live in Tacoma.
Oh.
And I was super hesitant because I lived in Moses Lake and drove to Spokane to my other band, which was like almost 2 hours. And I was tired of driving so far. Yeah. But here I was again with no one answering my ad.
Wow.
And so I
she met me.
Yes. Love it.
I live in Lake Stevens, and I was driving down to almost Shelton for band practice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 120 miles one way.
Mm-mm.
It's worth it.
That's just dedication.
No. I was living in Tacoma and working in Centralia on a daily basis for almost 3 years.
I'm from Centralia.
Terrible. It was terrible that
would be
traffic
terrible.
going back and forth through Fort Lewis and all that stuff around
Where
there.
did you work in Centralia?
Terrible.
Where did you work in Centralia?
It was like a building materials warehouse off of the industrial area side of Centralia.
So you don't remember the name of it? Like Hardell?
It was BMD. Just building material distributors.
I guess I haven't heard.
They were only there for a couple of years, and then they went shit out, and couldn't compete until they shut it down.
Yeah.
And then he met me.
All forces
Exactly.
combined.
Reason
After
for
that,
our
started that.
existence.
Yeah, pretty much.
Love it.
And now Zach's taking care of all of us.
Right?
A little bit.
Yep.
Just a little. Well, how long have you been a band?
Wow.
Cool.
So
You guys can start that one because I'm more recent than that.
Oh.
yeah, Zach, Richard, and Tyler were a band for about 5 months before I met them in 2017, the end of 2017. Oh, and you also had Todd, another guitar player.
Yeah, that's who came up with the name. Actually, was Todd.
Yeah.
That's the origin of the name. It kind of started out as the Permian, and I was like, man, that sounds like a crappy hotel in the middle of nowhere. So we dropped the. So I don't want to say anything negative about the name. I kind of got outvoted on the name or whatever, but I was like, it's not terrible. I think it's the only one we could all not say no to. That's
Yeah,
kind of how that
Todd
works.
was really picking. Todd really liked the name. He had like all this research he had done on the Permian extinction era, and he was just really into it. And so none of us really had a reason to have any other name, like any legitimate reason. So he won.
You're just like, all right. Like,
Yeah.
I guess.
Whatever. That sounds good.
Yeah, the main mission statement with it for me and Rich was he's really into like the Agonist and Arch Enemy, kind of more melodic death metal. Like all my favorite guitar players are rock guitar players. So it's just a much different dichotomy, I think, than he was kind of ready for. It's like, listen to the way I play, man. I don't really play death metal. If you listen to my speed metal band and you listen to this band, it's a little more rock and I like the melodic aspect of death metal. I'm not really super pumped on the vocals, but I think there's something in every genre for anyone who's expanding their metal palette, I would say. Even if you're into black metal, you're not into any of the more extreme stuff, you have to really give that stuff a chance. Yeah. And the older I get, the more I appreciate kind of more jazz and country stuff, but I've always been a metal guy at heart. Exactly. Like all my favorite albums on the walls and my mom was a huge metalhead in the 80s, so Judas Priest is one of my favorite bands, but I kind of met him, and it's just a lot different realm than I'm used to. We tune pretty low to the drop C tuning. I'm a standard tuning guy, and I've got, that took a little bit to get used to. And I think it's really been beneficial. We met Zordia, and she's got the gift with the melodies, so we don't have to wait around for a day. I usually compose a bunch of the music, and then we arrange the music together, whatever we need to change, if we need to move something. None of us are guarded like that, like, it has to stay this way. That elitist attitude, I think we're all familiar with when you have a friend that just won't get out of the thing that they're that into. They're like, this is the best band ever. And they stay like that for 10 years. And you're like, dude, not that the band's not great, but there's other metal bands that are badass, right? And you don't even have to like the classic stuff. Just kind of balance out. And she's brought in the stuff, like when we first met her at the 2121 pub here in Tacoma by my house, my first thing to ask her was, who are some of your favorite singers? And she mentioned Luther Vandross, and I was like, oh shit, this might not work out so well.
And Whitney
shit.
Right, like not metal shit at all. And I was like, I'm gonna give this a chance. She has the look, and she's really funny, and she's engaging, so it's at least jam, right? And that kind of took off from there. We did that first album, and we're right in the middle of the second album of rehearsals. So we're about 90% to where we can get to the studio, which is like on the 22nd, right, Zordia? I think the weekend of the 22nd next month.
Yeah, soon.
Nice.
Things are moving. I mean,
that's exciting.
I don't want to take up all the
crazy
time,
how fast she comes up with lyrics. Like, we could start playing something and not even finish whatever we're trying to finish, and she's already got lyrics for it. Done, gone, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm like,
and memorized. Like, holy shit.
Well, last year when I got hired at a new company, I I spent a lot of time with her because she was kind enough to let me crash at her apartment with her and her husband, who travel. So we got a lot of kind of one-on-one time just to kind of kick it and eat food and stuff and really get to know each other on a more personal level. And I'll let her take it from there. But man, she's got a lot to say based on the, I think someone said the Lord won't give you more than one you can handle. That bitch can handle a lot of shit. Based on what she told me.
Cheers to that.
Right?
Right.
Let's just say my life has been one roller coaster after another. But all that has contributed to, I think, how quickly I'm able to write. Because I have like every song that Zach writes has a melody, right? I feel like every song has a feeling. The feeling's already there. The song tells me what it feels, and then I have a memory. It triggers a memory, and memory just takes over, and floods, and the song's done.
And you just like pour it out. That's awesome. Oh, beautiful creative process, and that's awesome. You have a lot to say, and that's how you can speak and get it out. I love that.
I feel like there's things I could say in songs that I can't say in person to people.
Right. Oh yeah, I get
right.
that. Yeah.
So
I totally get that.
For a while, you were a very interesting person. I totally enjoy your online presence. You make my day. So thanks for everything you do, especially during this time, because it's fun to see others that are having fun and just being themselves, just being real. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been, I think, a lifelong challenge, just being who I am, but then also against so much judgment from others trying to fit me into a box and me just pushing past that box every time, right?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that too, since you guys are musicians too, you kind of know there's a common linkage between one musician to the next. So you guys play with guitar players and bass players and vocalists, and I think it's strange thing to have as a more rounded musician. Maybe it's because I'm in my mid-30s. Pat's around my age. Pat's around my age. You start to mature a little bit more to where I can write a song like that. And I'm kind of thinking of what she's going to be doing. I don't think enough attention is given to where I can gift the song to them and create the atmosphere. That's my job as the guitar players, to try to write a powerful piece of music with some actual groove to it, and then see where she can take it without trying to say, well, I want you to do X, Y, Z. I don't think any of us really do that. That's important to me as a musician, is because I don't like being told how to play more than what's acceptable. And I also don't think it's cool to stifle their creativity with, for lack of a better term, assholishness. I don't want it to be like a totalitarian state back there. But I do have a vision, and I think me and her and Pat and Tyler are all kind of working toward the same goal. My other band, me and the bass player, have been playing for over a decade, and we have the same CD collection. We like all the same shit, and we're headed in the same direction. And most bands have been in over almost 24 I've been in. It always falls apart right before something magical can happen. Even if you don't have the greatest musicians, no one can get along long enough to get into the fucking studio. And it's like never happens.
Right.
Yeah. That's not fun anymore. I mean, isn't that what it's all about, is passion and fun? And if you have that groove, and you have that, almost family feel in a band, then you can go into the studio. And even if you do, rub each other the wrong way, at least you can come back together, and put your ego aside, I guess. I don't know. Some people can't. So I respect that you guys, have that between all of you.
Anybody watching?
Musicians that to the side.
Anybody watching, my advice is to be well rehearsed before you go in, because I enjoy that process of sharing the music with the engineer, and then the guy who helps us record is a fantastic musician, Cody Brumlow. And he's got good ideas, and he's easy to deal with. And, and some people are a little more high strung. I just think we were so well rehearsed the first time that it was just smooth. The atmosphere is really good, minus a few things. There's always a little hiccup here and there, but like you said, it's a big family thing, and we have to encourage each other as bandmates and as friends and as people, or we're never going to get the best thing. The idea of going into the studio, I feel, is to capture those moments where you have the best blood flowing, and a lot. You know, I was watching the Quincy Jones thing on Netflix, and he said a lot of that comes from just love. You know, the best atmosphere comes from that kind of place.
So he said we were well rehearsed, right? Because we had been playing the same fucking songs for like 2 years.
That's true. That's true.
And so we were like, dude, we got to record these.
Right. Yeah, especially before the band implodes
already.
Yeah. So when we did finally record them, it took a while to get the album done. Because then 2020 happened.
Oh.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, our other bass player decided to band, right? So we had a show planned for March 14th, the weekend of the shutdown. And that's the world shut down, and then our bass player left. So we were like, crap, we were going to release the album in August, and now we don't have a bass player, and we can't do any shows. So we were like not sure if we should even find a bass player, because so many people didn't want to meet in person.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Pat was the only one. Yeah, I'll meet you.
The only one that didn't give a
fucking pickings. Oh yeah, slim pickings, guys. This is all we got. Let's run with it.
All right.
No, so I mean, I knew Tyler before he was in Permian with Zach and Rich, and I was in a band with him, his brother, Killjoy, and then my buddy Jeff, who moved to Montana. We had just pretty much a little garage thing, and then it just kind of kicked off. We played a couple local shows, and then all of a sudden Killjoy, I mean, because he did his own little hip hop stuff, hip hop underground music on local level here in Tacoma, and he got invited to Red Fest, and then he decided to make a little thing with us, and then took us up on for the second year, his going back to Red Fest for him. And then shortly after that, we all just kind of, it all fizzled away, and that was it, end of that. And then Tyler hit me up and asked me if I was still playing, if I would be willing to come check out and see what Permian's got. And then I met, Zach and Sordia.
Nice.
Helps that we had a record to listen to.
Yeah.
There's a CD.
Yeah, all it was Tyler was like, all right, here, I guarantee they're going to fucking like you, but here, learn these 3 songs, be able to play them this Saturday. I'm like, all right, cool, it's Monday. Let's fucking get to it.
I'll tell my kids to leave me alone for the next 6 days.
He said, wait, this is the one I wanted to say. So my friend Corey says, go get him, Pat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, Pat came like right after we recorded our first album, but because it took us so long to record the first album, we had already started a whole second and third album worth of music, right? So he came in like having to learn the old album, but then write all new songs to the new album songs we had already created during the time we didn't have a bass player.
It was like they were already on top of their fucking homework, and then I fucking get to the new school, and they're like, bam, here, fucking do this. And then catch up.
That's one thing I can say for my own sake, just for our band, is never a shortage of notes coming out of my guitar, man. We wrote, I want to say 20 songs that we had nuts and bolts of, and me and Zordia wrote 4 at her apartment during the last year. And then when Pat got fully integrated, we've written 4 more since he's here. And now we've whittled it down to 8 that I think are really slamming. And we've still got, like, I want to say 17 left over. And she's already named like the whole
more.
third
Wow.
album, and shit, Pat's got his song that's really slamming, very Pantera-ish. I want to get on the next record too. And we kind of set in the mood. The first album's kind of what we had, and the second album, I think, and all musicians think this because they're like your babies or like your children, but the second record's a little more eclectic, and it's got more groove to it. And there's a few danceable songs on there. There's a couple of straight up metal songs, and there's a little bit more clean channel stuff there with a lot more melody and a little bit more complex chord arrangements that everybody's taken to really well. Like I'm a trained musician by theory and reading and writing and stuff like that. And then, Zordy just got the pitch thing, and Pat's got what my buddy Lance has. You can just kind of figure it out. You don't have to, well, you're hitting the wrong note here. After a while, you just, you're a musician.
Hey, after a while, you just end up sliding it up somewhere else.
Right.
So you just figure it out. And I've learned how to play by ear. I've never read music, never been able to read music. I've played everything by ear, and bass for me is stuck. And that's just what I'm going to continue to keep doing, man.
That's cool.
Everybody learns differently, so if that's how you learn, I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
but that's also exactly what we needed.
Right.
We were like, I don't know the bass parts. I don't know the bass parts either.
Yeah, I don't either. Again, that goes back to that not stifling their creativity. You gotta learn this shit, Pat.
Yes.
Yeah, I was in.
Yeah, you don't know how many times I literally fucking listened to that album. I fucking listened to that album so many fucking times. To work, at work, home from work. Fuck, man. I've listened to that album so many times.
Very proud of the first record, but it's going to be killer. Post-COVID pandemic, man, it's been really, really trying to get the shows, because when you play, you guys have played shows. It's not that I don't enjoy playing for 5 people. That's not my point. The point I'm trying to make here is that when you are only going to have about 5 people with the vaccine mandate thing kind of coming around, and then certain people being scared, now we're at like 2 people. A little harder to get into sometimes. And I look, that's the payoff, is playing the music live and sharing the music and getting to see other bands too. That's another thing for me, is our local scene here in Washington is great. There's so many good bands, man. There's so many good bands here. I played that KVLT Cult Mead Fest. Every killer band in the 5 counties that have a population here, aside from where Zordy was living in Moses Lake area, are all just slamming. There's something for everybody. There's South is a death metal band. Greyhawk is kind of a more power metal-y 80s band.
And, we know Greyhawk.
I have a speed metal band. Yeah, Solicitor is one of my all-time favorite local bands. They're female fronted, and Amy and those they kick ass. They got the Road Warrior Mad Max thing going on, and none of the music seems fake or carbon copied. It's all kind of got its own original thing.
It's real.
That's my favorite thing around now. It's eclectic. It's not like Seattle's got this thing where like we're grungy, and it's like, that was like 25 years ago. 30 years ago. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying there's a lot of people in Washington.
I'm grungy. I'm grungy metal, so more on the metal side. But yeah, we definitely describe ourselves as grunge. So.
No, yeah, it's legit. It's excellent music. I just we wanted to start doing more stuff, and I think everybody who's in the musician thing, hold on to what you have, and let's see how this plans out for next year. Because I really miss playing shows, and we only got to play 3 this year, and that's a little bit of a bummer. But the music and what we share as a team is really what gets me to go to band practice. Always creating, and always being supporting of each other, and then just singing to each other. We practice that in my garage here.
Nice.
So our friend Corey says that the love of band evolution, some have it and some don't, and that's
right.
It's true.
Very true.
Yeah, we've been looking for a second guitar player for like
ever
2 or 3 years.
Since before I joined, I know that much.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Well,
Yeah.
if we have any guitar players out there in the Pacific Northwest music scene,
Right.
There's
between-
a million guitarists out there, though, it seems
Edmonds-
like. But
Yeah, I think my cat.
yeah,
plays
but I
guitar.
understand.
Your cat
The
probably
whole
does
pandemic,
play
it is
guitar.
Really? That's awesome.
So, do you guys have any cool stories about shows that you've played?
Any what?
Oh, look at that.
Any what?
Look who decided to come in.
Oh my god!
Oh,
But like an hour late as
motherfucker,
usual.
what time is it here?
Oh,
You guys know what
25
time it is?
minutes and
Yeah.
50 seconds late.
Yeah. What time is it? What happened here, sir?
Technical difficulties. I apologize.
Yeah, no.
I think you wanted to be late. You planned this.
Fashionably late.
Fashionably, there it
Yeah,
goes. Yep.
Giving us a bad name, like.
The woman in the middle is the new drummer. Because she plays
Sorry.
drums.
I played
What's
drums too.
transpired in the last 26 and a half minutes, ass face.
Maybe we should have two drummers, huh?
Well,
Yeah, now it's your
I
turn.
played drums for a couple bands.
we all play drums.
Yeah, I play drums too.
I
And
have
she's
been.
on time.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, welcome, Ty. Thanks for showing up on the show.
Sorry. I've been desperately trying to fix my technical difficulties. I don't know what was going on.
That's
It was
okay.
not letting me
It
in.
happens. We have a segment called Technical Difficulties, so this.
Right?
That's a great band name.
It is, right?
Great
Yeah.
song by
You're
Paul
a
Gilbert,
drummer,
too.
So you're a percussionist and you're not on time. I'm a little worried, friend.
Yeah, you're giving us drummers a bad name over here.
All right, we're kidding. So we're talking a little bit about the shows that you've gotten to play, and I guess the last question was, tell us about some stories from your concerts you guys have gotten to play together.
Let's
We
Tyler take
haven't had
that
that many. I was thinking about this, like with
Oh, that's
Permian.
right. You didn't have to.
What?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I had a glitch.
What?
So we had like maybe 3 shows with the old bass player and maybe 3 with this one in the last 4 years.
Yeah, trying to do the recording thing kind of puts a monkey wrench in the mix. But, well, remember that first one we played? We were all pretty nervous for that one. So the memorable part of that one is the amount of sweating I did, even though it wasn't hot in that room, because it was like October. There was no reason to be sweating that much, right? So then the second show, I don't remember so well, but it was at that substation place, I believe, right? In July or something, that place, that small spot up in Seattle. The building was really weird. I remember that. Like, every band was so much different, and we were kind of like the only melodic band. And we saw my
the only
buddy
thing
from Carnivorous play.
There was a dinosaur in the crowd, and that's the only thing I remember about that one.
That's
Yes.
from
That's
our buddies
fucking
from
great.
Carnivorous, Travis, and then those guys are awesome. Most of their songs are about raptors and shit. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then we played that New Year's show,
I know
was
those
really
guys.
good. Yeah, Travis is a really good friend of mine. Really funny guy. Really killer local bands. And then the first one with Pat was, pretty hot in that place. I remember meeting the Coop guys, and then that last show, the one I remember the most is that was the most. I think I had the most fun at, the most relaxed. It was ridiculously humid in that place, and I played a show up the street with my other
That
band
place was
for the Cult
fucking
Mead Fest.
hooking.
Right.
The
It
Platt
was pretty brutal, But we played with Kitty Junk. I think every time that we play with a local band,
I
that's the
love
thing
the
I
Plaid
remember.
Pig. The Plaid
Yes.
Pig. That show was
Love
fucking dope. Oh
I
my
bet.
god.
Right.
Pig.
Hell yes.
I guess that's all my experiences is the opening bands are always the thing I think I remember more than our stuff. It would be what I would say.
Yeah, and we've played 3 times at the Platt Pig, so that's played the most. My worst experience with this band, and it's happened before too, but our New Year's show for was it 2020?
Oh,
I brought in
I remember
New
now.
Year's just like the rest of the year went for me.
Oh.
I had major bleeding and cramps. It's always been a big issue for me, but I bled everywhere the whole time I sang. No one could see because I wore a really long dress, but really bad cramps the whole time.
Sorry.
And I was just
I think
so
that was
happy
at the
to.
substation.
Oh.
No, that was that New Year's show that the Plaid
You know what? I
Pig.
might have had cramps then too. They have been every month.
Because I remember you were wearing a skirt and you're like, oh, look. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, that's not fair. You guys need to know what I'm going through. And I was like, look at it. Just blood all over the place.
Probably the most metal moment of all the shows, if you think about it in context.
Yeah, no shit. Dang, girl. I feel your pain. I'm sorry you got to go through that. And it does suck to have your period and do a show.
I feel bad for both of you guys because I don't have that anymore. It's awesome.
Right? Like every show day in
that.
2019, I was like, really? Really? Come on.
Right, yeah, they picked right now is the time. I mean, I do know that Tyler showed up to all 6 or 7 shows only like 5 minutes late. I remember that.
25 minutes, 55 seconds late.
Man.
You missed technical difficulties.
Yeah.
It was a weird excuse. It's now that you say that, I think it's a recurring theme.
Yeah.
It's the next album, and it's
That
dedicated
shit's
to you.
intentional. Nah, that shit's intentional now. Yeah.
Now we're
He's doing that shit on purpose.
Everybody found out this chick on a podcast.
I can imagine
totally
if he comes
screwed
in
me
on
over.
time, you guys will be like, "What the hell are you doing here so early?"
You feeling okay, bro?
It's making up.
Hey, wait a minute. I was the first one there this last practice.
I live here.
Oh,
That's not what they said. Not what we heard.
Nice try.
Nice try, she said.
Busted.
Yeah.
That's true. I was late. I'm actually the second latest one because I live so far and I
Yeah, traffic.
never know what traffic's going to be
Well,
like. Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Traffic can be a fucking nightmare.
Traffical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High hopes.
I got no
We're taking
excuse. I'm
405.
only like 15 minutes away from Zach's.
Oh, that's not bad.
Well, look at you. You're special.
Yeah.
Well, so's Tyler. Tyler's like 10 minutes away too, right?
Tyler's even closer than I am, and he's still late.
This whole podcast is just turned into the.
All right, I'm gonna leave.
It's gonna be getting drummers that are not on time.
Give us a kung fu whip though. That
Get it
thing you
late,
can do with
sir.
your goat.
Oh my goodness. Too much
Take
fun
it away,
tonight.
Tyler.
I need to laugh that hard, seriously. Well, let's talk about your inspiration. So, if you could all just tell us who inspires you musically, we'd love to hear it.
Tyler.
Yeah,
go first, yeah.
You're starting. You're starting. We're gonna go this way, and then this way, and then that way, and then that way, and then that way.
Okay.
Oh man.
Well, musically starting out, like drumming at least, I'd say my top three biggest inspirations when I first started out was David of Korn, the original drummer. He's probably my number one most influence. And then I would say a little bit of Joey of Slipknot and a little bit of Matt from Mudvayne.
Oh,
those are kind of like my top three.
Those are some damn good drummers, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's kind of my type of typical music that I like. But I'm pretty open, pretty broad. I'll listen to a lot of different stuff, except for country.
Boo.
Yeah.
No country.
Yeah, not mine either.
Not your cup of
That's
tea.
not everybody's cup of tea. We get it.
It's not my cup of tea either.
Yeah, most of we're rock and metal too.
I respect it, but I'm not gonna be jamming out to it,
Right. Yeah, I respect it. Yeah. I hear you.
No spurs in her closet.
No.
Corey. He says, no country.
No country.
What is Pat thinking?
Fish, no country.
You can feel his emotion through his post.
Shit. I mean, my top three.
Corey. I love you, Corey.
Shit. Fuck, I don't know. My top three. I mean, what got me interested was, I guess that's how me and Tyler clicked very well, is because Korn was my number one top favorite shit growing up, because that's one of the first metal songs that I got introduced to. I was like, what, 10 or 11 or something like that, and then that was it, the end of that. And then so Fieldy was obviously my fucking, the way he played the percussion style on the bass was just mind-blowing to me at the time. So obviously that was one of my major influences. And then the wild shit that Les Claypool does, he does all kinds of crazy shit. That was mind-blowing on its own. And
that's bass,
the older fucking Cliff Burton, the early Metallica shit, all of his shit was my fucking jams. Fucking, so I would say those three would be my three.
Stellar top three. I love Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
The earlier
Would
Metallica
be on my top
yeah,
three.
The
sure.
way early.
Yeah.
So I don't really fit into your typical metal singer.
No, you're like Mariah Carey.
Well,
that's the other surprising shit that she messes well with, even with her.
Right. It works wonderfully.
Yeah, I think I've never been really selective. Whatever was on the radio was what I listened to and I sang. But when I was young, there was a lot of Whitney Houston. There was a lot of Heart, and Luther Vandross was like my favorite male singer. I remember being like really young. I don't even know how old, but I'd be in the back of my grandmother's wagon with no seatbelt, like here and now,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
In the back, no seatbelt, 1985, and parents were like,
Right.
It'll be all good.
Good old days.
Yeah. I didn't even really get into metal music until I joined a heavy metal band.
Oh, yeah.
When I joined the band, because I just wanted to sing. Yeah, I didn't care what I sang because I grew up I went to a gospel choir. I learned gospel and harmonies. I grew up listening to
I can
hip
hear
hop
it.
and
Yes.
R&B. I
Yes.
love listening to rap, everything. It didn't matter, classical, jazz, you name it. I just wasn't exposed to a lot of metal because they don't play it on the radio. So my rock roots are probably the stuff they did play on the radio, like classical vinyl stuff, you know, like Led Zeppelin
Right.
and stuff like
Right.
that. But they also sang really good too back then. So the singing has always just been something that I've pushed myself for. Like I'm like, okay, I can sing gospel, I can sing R&B, I can sing rock. And then the thing that pushed me to scream was just challenging myself more and then becoming more and more angry.
Right.
Release it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then trying to figure out, holy crap, what am I going to write to this song that's going to fit? I know it wants me to scream and I've never done it. Just fucking do it. Just do it. And so just not questioning myself and doing what the songs want me to do has led me to being where I'm at today. But that's not the stuff I listen to on the radio. I like Phoebe Snow and Nora Jones and Tracy Chapman, and I like everything.
Stellar vocalists. Yeah.
I love Tracy Chapman.
Yes. Nora Jones, damn. When she first came out, what was it, early 2000s?
Yeah.
You're like, who's this? Hello. This is fresh. Well, like I appreciate a lot of genres too. And having all of that background, you know, helps teach you how to push in metal because it's singing. It is still a type of singing, and having that background can make you even more versatile with metal.
Yeah.
I admire it.
I would say especially real singing too, because my mom was a huge metal rock junkie she grew up in like the 70s and 80s. So Kiss was like some of her favorite bands, and Nazareth, and she kind of got to watch the evolution of heavy metal. So when I was probably 15 or something like that, I have a massive CD collection out there, like probably 800 CDs, because it's a growing obsession, as you know, as music. You try to gather all the music you can and digest it. And she gave me maybe 10 or 12 CDs to start. Screaming for Vengeance, Judas Priest was one of them. The Blizzard of Oz and No More Tears are two of my all-time favorite albums.
Yes.
And then she gave me this one by a guy named Joe Satriani. It's called The Extremists. Joe Satriani is like an instrumental. Yeah, he's my number one. That's what changed my life. It's kind of like the epiphany moment. You didn't really realize that songs didn't have to have vocals without being a classical piece of music. Yeah. I didn't know a rock or funk or blues guy could do that. It's basically the whole song has verses and choruses. And that's when I first started playing guitar. So my top three influences were the Scorpions was my all-time favorite band. And then Metallica, early Metallica, Kirk Hammett was the reason I probably picked up a guitar. But then Joe Satriani is when I took shit way more seriously and go, man, I really need to figure out this harmony and melody thing. And I had a wonderful high school theory teacher by name of Mr. Leonardy, Lawrence, Bill Leonardy, who's still I think he's the dean of music for all of the district schools. And he's just an amazing guy. He was a jazz guy. So I remember distinctly giving him the sheet music to Mr. Crowley. And I was like, hey man, can you play the second guitar solo in that song on the piano? And he sits down at the fucking Kaiway piano and he fucking literally plays it. And I was like, turn the page for me. And I turned it, and it wasn't perfect, but it's a piano interpretation of a guitar thing, right? And I remember him playing it. It was a little slower, but you recognized exactly what he was playing. I'm like, how many times have you heard that? He goes, never. That's my first time. You think I listen to Ozzy fucking Osbourne? I have a master's degree in music.
I like Kenny G.
I believe all your bullshit about music theory and stuff now, so I need to get into that. And ever since then, it's for me. It's they can attest, man. I play 3 to 10 hours a day. I have a full-time job. It's just I never lost interest in it. I own 44 guitars and 6 amps, and it's just like.
Wait, what? How many guitars do you have?
I'll show you.
44.
Okay. Jesus.
How many are in this room?
No way.
4.
Yeah, there's a bunch on stands in here. I don't know how well you can see it from that angle. But there's a whole wall of shit over here.
Oh, we can see like
trees of guitars in the
of them.
background. And I got the closet here full of shit too. That's just packed full of shit. You know, like I actually, believe it or not, I do try to play them all as much as I can. That's something I pride myself on. I played 4 of them today.
The camera view doesn't know justice. He's got like a million fucking guitars in that fucking room.
Yeah. All the posters I kept from Guitar Worlds over the years. Remember the centerfolds you would get? And there would always be like 2 sides to it.
Right.
You know, some of these got like Gwen Stefani on the back. Another one's got Eddie Van Halen. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to flip that to the Van Halen side for me.
Right.
Not there's anything wrong with Gwen Stefani. She's fucking badass. I'm just saying, like, it was kind of cool.
Badass.
You know, so,
Agreed.
you know, representing. And that's just kind of my story. I don't know. I never lost interest in it. And we all play music here. It's something special about it for me.
That's funny. When I was a kid, I had New Kids on the Block and Salt and Pepper on my wall.
Nice.
That's fucking rocking ass shit
That's
too, though, man.
Totally 90s right there. That takes me back.
Right.
Awesome.
Remember that little piano riff that they had?
So what ages did you guys start playing music?
What, Crash?
What ages did you guys start playing music?
I was 16. I got to do it late. But it only took me, I don't know, when you don't pay attention in school and play 12 hours a day for 2 years. I played catch up fast, so.
Yeah.
So I've been playing for 19 years at this point.
Wow. It's awesome.
And for me, it was I was 13, but it wasn't a consistent since 13. You know, it'd be like a couple of years on, and then I'll be off for doing whatever for a couple of years, and then pick it back up, and then. So I mean, I've picked it back up for like the last solid probably 8-9 years, but it all started at 13, and then just off and on since then.
Very cool.
Okay, so I have wanted to play drums since like 4th or 5th grade, but it didn't happen till about 7th or 8th grade. But I played like random instruments, other instruments until that point. But it was about the summer going into 8th grade for me that I got my first drum kit and was able to finally start getting into it. Mm-hmm. But there was a period of a few years around 2008 that I sold everything and moved to Arizona. And it wasn't until 2015 when I moved back and rebought another drum kit that I started playing again. So these guys have kind of been my brushing the cobwebs off type band, getting back into it.
Nice. And it feels good.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of friends, so.
So yeah, plenty of time.
He's got like 4 friends. Wait, there's 3.
We're 3.
Man, I originally wanted the drums when I was a kid, and I asked my mom for a drum set, and it was fuck no.
Nope.
That was an absolute no. Off top. But and then as soon as I moved out, guess who got a drum set the very next Christmas?
No.
My younger brother. Whoa, bullshit. Bullshit.
He turned into Macaulay Culkin. He was the good son.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was easy. Yeah, but it is what it is.
So
I love bass way more now. Shit, fuck.
I can't. Let's see. I can't remember when it started. I feel like music has always been there. When I was little, I grew up with my grandmother, and she would sing to the plants, and she would always tell us, if you sing to them, they'll grow. So we were always singing to them. But then it also became an emotional release, my friend across the street in elementary school her parents would be fighting and yelling, and we'd go lock ourselves in the closet and we would scream and sing at the top of our lungs. And I thought that was how you handled your emotions. So every time I'd get in trouble, I'd slam my door and I would blast my music and I would sing. And then one day my grandma took the door off. So I couldn't do that anymore. But it started with a little organ I found, and I would just be making up my own songs. I let's just say I was probably like 5. I'm trying to think of how old, because I would put the organ on top of the washer and I would be like this, right? So however tall you are when you're that age. And then when I got a little older and would go to like church, I would play the guitar or I'd play the piano. And it wasn't until I was 13 that I actually wrote a song, because I was like, how does someone else write a song? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like having this conversation on the ferry, because we lived in Bremerton at this point. And I was like, well, they just write it. Someone's writing it. And I'm like, well, then I'm going to write it, you know? And so I just started writing then. And by the time I was 15, I had recorded in the studio, because that's where I started, was recording in the studio. And I played at the Black Community Festival live in front of everyone and was asked to come back. Wow. And I've just been kind of doing studio recording ever since. I was never really in a live band until I became older. So all my experience was, you know, gospel choir and writing and recording in the studio.
Which do you find is funner, being in the studio or playing with a live band?
So both have their challenges, but because I was a studio musician first, that is really easy for me, and I really enjoy. It's like coloring a page. You get to pick all the colors, and you get to create your own little magical thing. I feel like that's how creating a song is. Right, except for when you're with the band, everyone is coloring too, right?
Right.
So you got to learn how to share the song with people and then see what you come up with. So the performing live for me was a little nerve-wracking, because I had been like, you could record something in a studio, someone could pay you for it, and no one ever know who it is. Bam, you just hear yourself on the radio, right? But with the band, it's like, it's really personal. People know that's you singing. So the first time I ever stood in front of a crowd was at like a Christian music competition. And I played the guitar and I sang, and my legs were shaking so bad. I was so nervous that I just didn't want to do it again. But playing with the band is different.
Right. You know, for me, it's I'd have to go with the live show, because and this is going to sound weird, but when you give the record out and people can listen to your music for free now, we put stuff on Spotify, we have the Facebooks, all that shit, Reverb Nations, all that stuff. That's great, because you can really listen to the polished version of it. But I remember seeing a good show, and it was the first time I saw the Almighty Testament. They just fucking completely blew everyone's ass off the stage that day. And I was thinking to myself, because I was already kind of playing shows ago, this is actually the whole point for me as a fan, is the music is wonderful, and the albums get us through the hardest of times, because you can take that with you every day, everywhere you go, and you have your mobile devices and all that type of shit you have that you can listen to it. But when you actually get to see the power of music, it changes people,
right?
And it turns people into raving lunatics. It turns people into a sobbing mess. It turns people into this gnarly pitch strength guy with 6 beers in his hands. It's just a fucking rad experience, and I always love participating in the show as a guest. So I'm like, man, I love watching out into the crowd. If someone's actually digging your music, imagine that on a massive scale. I think that's what we're all wishing is the dream, right? So for me, playing the show, easier to fuck stuff up because you don't get to hit re-record and blah, 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 blah. But something about the live experience for me, I would take that any day over this. And I love the studio experience, especially with this band. I had such a good experience last time. it teeters the scale a little bit, but nothing's compared to the live show to me. I mean, I saw Korn was the first band I saw as a kid, and that completely changed my outlook on, you come over the hill for the live concert, there's people smoking weed and half naked women and alcohol. You're like, this is pretty cool. I think I can get used to this. This is everything I thought it was going to be. And usually it's like false advertising, right? This is the chess club. We have left the auditorium and we are now in the presence of awesome people.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at.
Well, and since you mentioned, recording in the studio, where are you recording? You said you're recording October 22nd. Where will you be recording at?
Does he call it Hangar 12 Studios?
Yes. Our buddy Cody Bumlow is independent engineer.
Sweet.
Up in Linwood, Washington.
Oh, Linwood's nice. That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's done almost everybody locally, man. Just to give him a quick plug, his
please do.
Project he's working on, Bad Magic, is kind of like a blues bar band, rock too. He was in a couple other really good bands. Man, he's eclectic dude and a really, really fun guy. And he's got good rates. He's up his rates since he's not working due to the pandemic, and he has yet to not be able to pay his rent, and he bought a new car, so he's really going for it. And I think a lot of us, we have regular jobs, and Cody's a little younger than we are. I think he's just about to be 30. And ever since he was 19, this is his thing. When his father died, he had the option of taking half of that business, which is an HVAC company, which is doing pretty well. And upstairs inside their shop is the studio. That's pretty well done. His father made, and it was, you either get the studio or you get half the HVAC business, but you can't have both. And he took the studio. So I got to commend him for that.
That's you got a studio.
Go with what you love the most.
Yep.
I mean, HVAC is cool, but
right.
Recording albums.
He's
not going to see naked women with that around.
Right? What is it? What is the name of the thing? It's named after a famous 80s pop song. Damn, I forget the name of it. It was something.
I thought it was Hangar 12.
The HVAC company.
Oh, the HVAC.
What their logo is on the side of the building. I want to say it's like, what was it? It was something that we would all recognize if I could remember the damn phrase. You can't take the heat or something like that. It sounds like a Huey Lewis song or something, but every time I pull up, that song pops up in my head because that's the title of the song.
The heat is on. The heat is on.
The heat is on. That's what it is.
Is that it?
The heat is on.
I was joking.
The heat is
I'm right. It's HVAC, right? So it's the heat is on.
That's great.
That's really clever right there. Yeah. Now I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head all night.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're
Every
welcome.
time we pull
Just
up,
like laying in bed going, the heat is on. I think wasn't that Kenny Loggins though?
Yeah, it was some pop artist. If I had my phone there, I could Google it. But we've all heard that so many times.
Oh, Nancy knows. The chat knows.
Now she's got to play it.
Glenn Frey.
Glenn Fry.
Glenn Fry. That's right. See, I knew it was somebody like that. I was close.
Oh man,
Thank
I gotta
you,
brush up my
Matthew
80s pop. Sorry,
Bingham.
everybody. Thanks, Matthew. Good to see you in the chat again tonight.
Thanks, Matthew.
He's yelling at me now. Okay, thank you.
I know. Glenn Fry.
He's on L.
Thanks,
Sorry. The dyslexia gets to me sometimes. Matt was also saying Gwen Stefani and Alanis Morissette, two most underrated female singers on the planet. Agreed. Gotta love those ladies. Man. Amazing women of the 90s.
Yeah, you don't know how hard it is until you try to sing their music,
Right.
Right.
Oh my gosh. They can write. Whew. And they can sing. Oh my goodness. Hit some of those notes.
That coming from somebody who can carry it too, and every time because my range is more like the Ronnie Von Zahn. I can sing okay, but not good. So it's like I focused all my efforts on the guitar parts. They're like, "You should sing." I'm like, "Nah, you don't hear me sing." That's not me. Trust me. We want people to show up to the shows.
Some people though, they just are tone deaf too.
Yeah.
Like I know some people who sing and they're tone deaf. So it doesn't sound very good.
They're living the dream now. It's all up
more
here.
Punishment than it is.
Hey, let them float. Let them float for as long as they can. They'll figure it out eventually.
I think we all know as musicians, man. It's a highly underrated thing that we do. The amount of dedication that we put into it. It usually what you put out there comes back to you, but it's the amount of time what your goals are. The Neil Diamonds of the world versus the Steve Vai's of the world. I see those things as equal. Your contribution to music, you use a guitar, or your voice is a songwriting tool, or you try to be this great player. And it's rare that you get the Dimebag Darrells and the Randy Rhodes and the Cliff Burtons who can do everything. And Eddie Van Halen, for example, who unfortunately passed away, is in my top 5. Innovates stuff. He's a killer songwriter. They always talk about how great of a lead player he is, but his contribution to songwriting, the guitar parts wouldn't be that good if the song sucked. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It all has to sound good. Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
So anybody out there watching, if you don't think you need to be in that realm of insane player, you can't discount the James Taylors of the world who have just really done what we all want to do, change the world with a song.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how simple. The Kurt Cobains have their fucking place.
Right.
And it's absolutely needed. It's, I wasn't the hugest Nirvana fan growing up.
You only need 4 chords to make a great song.
Is what I was doing, but I've always respected how Kurt was always like, I'm not a guitar player, I'm a songwriter. The Beatles are my number one influence, and I'm doing my version of that, as opposed to, I never claimed to be this great guitar player. I'm not. Listen to my music, you would know that. I want to write songs that the average person can connect with. That's who I am, and that's what I represent. And that's just my advice to anybody. If you're going to do it, I think you said it, be authentic. Do what you're pumped on. That's important, is to play what you dig, and don't stray away from that more than you need to. If you're not moved by it, then it's a fucking waste of time. If you're not having fun, it's a fucking waste of time.
100%.
That's first and foremost for me, is the friendship, and then the music being fun. Our rehearsals are always funny. We're always ragging on Tyler for being late. I talk too much. Zordia argues with Tyler about the beginning of a song, and me and Pat are always on the same page.
Hey, between these two right here, it is fucking crazy between these two on the band chat and shit. Holy shit! You come back to fucking 20 different messages, and it's both of them fucking ranking on each other the whole fucking time.
I also talk about my mom.
Oh man!
And then the straight face emoji when he's
always like, your mom did. And so one of my shows, my mom showed up, right?
Your mom.
Yeah, my mom showed up to one of our shows, and I was like, look, Tyler, there's my mom. He didn't say shit then.
He didn't say one fucking word to her.
Say it now.
He thought that the uncle was the husband, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he did. He's like, that was his excuse. Well, I thought she was with someone.
Yeah, that's why I'm not talking to her. I mean,
that's my uncle.
That's funny. We had a question from the chat for everybody. Best song ever. That's a hard.
You can't ask that. That's fucking crucial.
Right.
One song. That's devastating.
Come on, top 3 at least. Come on, Corey. Come on.
Wow. I don't even know if I could do top 3. Holy shit.
I know. It
depends on my mood.
Every week, depending on what mood I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
see,
a good one,
it
man.
factors. It factors on everything. Fuck, man, you can't pick 3. I can't pick
Corey,
3.
you got to tell us. Corey, tell us what your favorite song is ever.
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
if he starts,
this
I'll
was his
follow.
response. He's like,
I've never heard that song.
yeah.
Wow. Like I'm looking at all the stuff on my
Oh,
wall.
he
I've
says,
got a
he's
lot
like,
of
3
records
songs,
sitting
easy. Easy. That's what he says, easy. We'll see how easy that is.
there. It depends on my mood, you know. Like one thing I can think of is since my grandmother was a huge Bob Seger fan, pretty much any of the classic songs he had, she showed me again that appreciation for just a great songwriting. And she wasn't really into rock music, but she did love the Silver Bullet Band. So I'd say anything of that guy's. You'll Accompany Me would probably be the one that reminds me of the most. That's just an excellently crafted song for any mood. And I would have to say, going dicey here, but the song I Don't Know by Ozzy Osbourne on The Wizard of Oz, that's in my... That guitar riff is the first time I was able to play something, and I was like, I'm fucking badass. I can play that. And it's actually really easy to play, but you're really stoked.
Oh.
You're just so stoked that you're able to play about 9 seconds of music and not sound like a complete asshole when you're doing it. And then for me, my personal probably all-time favorite song for any mood is Joe Satriani's song called Echo from Surfing with the Alien. That would be my top 3.
Good top 3. Yes.
Damn.
So Matthew says his top 3.
Oh, the Zoo. That's that Scorpion song.
I Fall to Pieces and the Zoo. And Corey says that his favorite all time is Wish by 9 Inch Nails.
That's right. He shared it last week. Yep. Good song.
Trent Reznor was gnarly, dude.
Hurt's a good song. My husband texts me Bohemian Rhapsody. So Max Maxwell says Bohemian Rhapsody is the best song.
That is a good song.
Really? It's a good song, but the best love?
Well, it depends if you're looking
the Wayne's World thing steps it up.
The best song ever is Melt With You by Modern English.
Legit
I'll
too.
stop the world and melt with you.
That's a damn good song too.
Everybody knows that song. It's the best song ever.
What about Tyler?
He said it. Yeah, it's the best song. There's a
What
delay.
did Max say?
Yes. he's stating his reasons why it's the best song. I love you.
Oh.
If we're going with popular, then I'm going to say Happy Birthday. That's the best song.
Imagine having the song running royalties to that motherfucker.
Right?
You're the Gene Simmons. You're a mogul now.
Yeah, but could you imagine having to pay royalties for that song every time you sing it?
I know,
We'd
right?
rewrite it. Come on, well,
it's like,
you know.
It's like the fucking swear jar, right? You're just dropping money into it.
Right?
Who came up with that song?
Happy birthday, jar.
And Corey's asking Rickroll anyone. I don't know what that means.
Tyler, what's up there, Taylor?
Ty?
You don't know what Rickroll is?
No.
Is it the guy with the wig and the pimp clothes?
No. Like Rick Astley?
Never
gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down.
Give you up.
Yeah.
Never gonna turn around and forget you.
I'll forget you, whatever.
I always think of Family Guy when I see that now. Back to the Future and Family Guy come. It's like they just meet and destroy it implodes the universe.
Yes.
Yep, there it is.
Yep, there you
go. Yeah.
And Corey's like, I'm Rick Royo.
Yes, you did. Oh my gosh, too much fun on Musicians Hangout. I love it.
There's no such thing as too much fun on musicians hanging out.
Is that a new segment?
We're just getting started.
Let's talk a little bit about dream venues. Where do you want to play? Tell us where you would play if you could play
anywhere in the world.
Carnegie Hall.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's only because I saw Selena play there on TV.
Oh, I thought you went there. I was like,
oh, no.
I've been to Carnegie Hall, but it was closed for renovations. But I
yeah, that's prestigious right
have
there.
Pictures of the outside of Carnegie Hall, dude. That whole block was like under construction. It seemed like.
Fuck, man, the Fillmore East would be my number one. There's so many.
Oh.
Leonard Skinner stood here. Peter Gabriel's first tour, Sledgehammer, was played on the stage. You know, the Allman Brothers recorded their famous live album. Like, dude, I don't even know if I could walk on the stage. It's like hollowed ground to me. That was just so. Stevie Ray Vaughan played one of his very last performances there.
Oh.
It's like Stevie Ray Vaughan stood somewhere right here, and Ted Nugent's testicle sweat was probably over there somewhere in that 70. Because he had the loincloth thing with the Tarzan shit going on. That would be life ending for me for sure.
Life ending testicle sweat. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. Highly acidic.
Oh my.
What about the rest of you guys?
Where do you want to play?
Dream venue of all time.
Fuck.
I'm not picky.
I don't even know, man. Honestly, it's not a big deal to me to fucking play at a crazy ass place. What matters to me more is just fucking being able to leave at least a piece of me behind, just to play somewhere, So really anywhere for me is fine. But as long as I get to leave a piece behind and leave something for the next, generations to dig up,
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is for me.
That's awesome. Well said.
I like that.
I get it. Yeah.
Come on, Tyler.
I mean, specifically, I don't know off the top of my head, but how about somewhere like an outside event over, in the other side of the pond, Europe or Italy or Rome or something.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
But would you be on time though?
No.
There's a whole time.
If you're ahead, we might.
No promises.
Bro, you're gonna get it this whole time.
Does that apply when
You're gonna
you
miss the
change
show.
time zones? Is that your kryptonite when we actually change fucking time zones? Like all of a sudden, like we're on mountain time, like in Montana, and like you're on time because you're like an hour behind. And if we went to Hawaii, you're like twice as late. Is that
You would be twice as early because Hawaii is 3 hours. Well, now they're 2 hours behind us.
Right. That's what I mean. Would he be
So
like
he'd be
2 hours later?
You'd be early still.
He'd be early.
Hey, I'm never late. I arrive precisely when I mean to.
Yeah, I knew you did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh shit. And the rift started. What about
Matthew,
you? What about the host? Where would you guys? That's an interesting question. What would be your dream venue?
So I was just agreeing with Matthew because he said the Gorge, and I would love to play the Gorge. I like playing, big outdoor type amphitheaters. So if I could be outside in the Gorge, ooh. And that seems kind of attainable, like being in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe there'll be a festival or something that we'll get invited to. Gonna snag that up.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd love to play all my favorite concerts I've been to have been there. I saw Sabbath there. I saw Foo Fighters there. I mean, it was
I think I saw
amazing.
the same show you did because that's the first time I saw Slipknot actually live.
Oh, yeah.
An Ozfest.
Yeah.
Yep. That was my
For
first
me,
concert.
my dream
It was like
venue is
2003. What was it? I ran over somebody, and
my
I'm
dream
on a
venue would
delay
be
or
Red
something.
Rocks.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh shit, that's a good one, right? I was thinking of that one too, and then she said the Gorge that came up. Good choices, dude. Those are both killer venues. I think my favorite concerts I've seen have been at the Gorge because the sound is so good.
I've never been there.
It's
It's
so fucking
outdoors.
hot.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah,
raining.
depending on what time you go, that
It
place
can
is
be.
fucking on fire. It's a fucking,
Depending on the
it's a
season,
giant
definitely.
fucking piece of
Oh,
earth
man,
that's dug out, and it's just
cold at
heated by the sun.
Right.
Yeah.
It can be really cold at night. When I saw Tom Petty there as a kid with my parents, probably
Tom
one of my
Petty.
first, probably my legitimate first concert. And
Oh.
I remember it was so cold around 9. My dad's like, "All right, it's about time to pack up because this is fucking chilly." Wind's whipping by, just kicking your ass, you know.
Oh my God, my first concert ever was so cool. It was MC Hammer, Boyz II Men, Jodeci, and TLC. All in one show.
Nice.
Balloon
That
country, everybody.
is a lineup. Oh, yes. Oh, I love TLC. Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a damn good. That was your first concert? Damn.
Yeah, we
That
should
was
My
cover
first
push
concert, mine was ZZ Top. Mine
How
was
old?
ZZ Top at Tacoma
Oh,
Dome.
that's right.
And the band who opened up for ZZ Top was called The Unforgiven, and they got booed off stage. It was crazy.
Aw.
That's so mean.
I was 12 years old, and I've never been to a show, so I thought that that's what really happened in real life.
Oh.
Scaring the shit out of you as a drummer. You're like, we're gonna get booed off the stage. Watch.
That was the only time I've ever seen anybody get booed off stage.
This is gonna get real now.
You guys hear that story about
Like,
how Lemmy took
people
out
just
the
really
all-girl band Girl School, and they were booing him off the stage, and Lemmy didn't even have to have the band ask him. It was like the third show on the tour, and Lemmy came out and told the crowd, "You guys respect this fucking band because they're badass. Give them a chance, or we're not playing tonight."
Aww.
It's like,
yeah,
that's like the type of dude that guy would be. But you know, booing someone off the stage, we've all wanted to do it. But you got to give them some respect, give them a chance. You know, so it's not for you, but
we know
that was. I thought that was a pretty cool story.
That'd feel
horrible. Right, but growing up, and then I wanted to be, you know, a Seattle musician too. But it was really scary because I thought I was going to get booed off stage. But it's never happened, ever.
Right. Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't experienced it. So, yeah, our community is amazing, though. Our music community in the Northwest is a very, you know, mellow culture. We seem to all be genre we are. I guess that there's the riffs, there always is, and genres that don't jive together always, but for the most part we're pretty mellow folk, and we like to just play music and talk about music. That's why we started this whole show. We just wanted to talk to other musicians about their process and their music and their, you know, their gear. And I guess speaking of gear, let's geek out a little bit. Tell us about, you know, a little bit. Ty, tell us a little bit about your kit. What do you play?
This is my gear right here.
You have the most beautiful gear.
Right?
Yes.
I currently have
one of
2 kits.
2?
I have a satin cherry red Gretsch. It's a little bit of a bigger kit. And then just recently I started using this white Mapex kit for like live shows. It's a little bit of a smaller kit.
Yeah. Road
but
kit.
yeah, I like the big rack setup and all the cymbals, but been trying to condense it for live shows until we get, famous and have roadies and stuff.
Yeah, right.
I like the big
I
set.
have a
It looks
huge,
cool. It
enormous
sounds
pit
good.
too.
That's a rough life, man. That roadie life is
It's
some
probably
fucking rough
funny to
shit,
play
man.
too. Like, I love my big kit. Like, love it. I don't like packing it, loading it, unloading
Fuck
it.
no.
I hate that shit.
No.
But
Yeah, so I've been trying to condense it for live shows. So
I love it. You'll thank yourself later. I condensed down from a larger, more standard kit. But I appreciate having my mini little kit for the road. It's so much easier to set up, take down, pack.
Yeah, time saver, back saver, man. The drummers, I think, got the roughest because I played in a speed metal band, dude. That guy's basically runs 5 or 6 miles every song, and then he's got to set his shit up. Drums are heavy, they're awkward. You got the rack, kind of your attachment bag that's always like miraculously 400 pounds, no matter how much shit you don't put in it. And then you got the cymbal bag too. I'm like, I forgot about the fucking cymbal bag, dude. That thing weighs like,
yeah, that weighs 50 pounds.
Cymbal bag that you need a fucking dolly to fucking drag around.
Like,
yeah,
oh, man. I'm always feeling for the drummer.
On Facebook. There's a meme on Facebook, and it says, "Being a drummer is a cross between being an athlete and a nervous wreck."
That's pretty fucking accurate.
That's pretty accurate. So what kind of bass do you have?
Lugging the gear around.
Yeah.
I've got 4 of them. Here, hold up.
Ooh.
Oh, show and tell. We love it. Yes.
So,
yeah.
As old as it is, this is probably my favorite one out of all of them. It's my fucking Ibanez SR 500.
Ibanez is all great.
Dude, I love my Ibanez.
I fell in love with the 500 series. Pretty much when I first started, my cousin had a regular guitar and I started playing with it and I just couldn't get it. I was like, these strings are too fucking close. And then he handed me a bass. He's like, try this. Ever since then, I was like, fuck yeah.
Like a glove?
Yeah, like a fucking super glove. And then just the body of the Ibanez. And dude, I fucking relearned and fucking redid a bunch of shit on this. And fuck, man, I've had this one for fucking well over 10, 15 years, something like that. But man, this is probably my one favorite out of everything, and I probably treat it the worst. And I play it the most.
Well, it's like a relationship.
That's my jam there.
Yes, my husband was yelling in the background. He has that exact same bass. I bought it for him from a friend. Like at a band practice, he was like, "I'm selling this." I'm like, "I'll buy it." And yeah, he has the same one.
The SR 500.
Yes.
Oh, here. So if he likes the SR 500, here, let me. There's 2 of them there.
Whoa. Very nice. Where is that bass? Where do we have it hanging? Is it in the living room?
Dude, that SR 500 is my shit. I love it.
Yeah, where is your bass? Like, I haven't seen it.
No, all I'm seeing is guitars in here, and we don't have 44, but we have a 12. What? He's getting it. I think that's what I heard. I'm so deaf.
Yeah.
What?
So he'll be back with show and tell.
Yeah, I've basically played pretty much Ibanez is what I've already been accustomed to, but starting to kind of branch out, kind of feels fucked up to kind of branch out a little bit, and like I want to try this because I really want to check out this. Yeah, see, I don't like feeling like that, but I had my eyes on this Schecter, and I think I'm gonna try to give them a try. And
really?
Try to see what Schecter's got going on.
Dude, Schecter guitars are amazing. I can only imagine what their basses are like.
Right. And they got this one that's called the Hellraiser fucking Extreme something, and it's just got all the fucking bells and whistles, and it's like, fuck, man. Never bought anything brand new. I don't think any of my shit is fucking brand new. Everything's fucking used.
That's
everything.
I mean,
I bought one dark glass pedal that was fucking brand new, and that fucker is awesome.
Look at the good.
Yes, sir. And, oh, you got the 505.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Hell yeah.
Man. Yeah, I love that.
Hell
I love
yeah,
that series, man.
Yep.
That's the one bass we own, and it's glorious.
That is
very nice.
Fucking amazing. It sounds great. That's got the fucking MK1, the Bartoloni pickups in it, right?
He knows that. Come back. He has a question about the pickups.
I'm like, I don't know.
Drummer
Man,
brain.
my Ibanez has whatever pickups come with it.
Nerding out on us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's that MK1 pickups.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Those sound great on that fucking body, man.
Internal EQ is like the greatest thing ever live. If you don't like what the like sound guy's doing, you're like, boop. I'm like,
hey. Every time
I wish I had that
play a fucking venue, I always set my shit to like 12 o'clock. And then as soon as he's like, does this sound good? I'm like, yep, we're good.
We're good.
Yep. Yeah, I agree, man.
Tricks. I like
it. Tricks of the trade. Yeah. They don't like it halfway through the set, but then you're like, fuck.
Sounding good, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Zach, which is your favorite guitar?
That's a
really
tough question, but
hey, did you hear that? He's like, oh fuck.
Yeah. So for my 35th birthday, my wife bought me something that we've instilled.
Yes. Wives that buy guitars are good.
Wait a second. Is that me? Is that me there? There it is.
I see it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. It's super duper nice guitar. And then
that's pretty. Oh.
Again, favorites, man. I don't know. I've got a there it is. Wow. I have an original 1978 Les Paul custom here. Spent a lot of money on it.
Oh my god, I love Les Pauls. Les Pauls are my favorite guitars.
Kind of
my husband is loving your collection.
That guitar is really nice.
You got the Metallica guitar. That's pretty sick.
Bro, just standing in that room, this video is not giving you no justice, bro. They need to actually be there to see that shit.
All those carbon guitars in the corner are really, really nice. I've got a 36 fret guitar over there somewhere.
Wow.
Oh my god.
It's kind of rare. I kind of love guitars, so it's kind of hard to say. I mean,
kind of.
No.
The one I've probably played the most is the Kamikaze guitar here somewhere. I don't know how well you can see or not see that. That's probably like my all-time favorite one. In this band, when I first started out playing, I played solid state amps because they're cheap and they're easy to use. Not a lot of technology going on there. Turn it on, it doesn't turn on. The amp's fucking broke, right? So, give another guy a plug. The guy that works on mine and Pat's guitars, Ron Pichetti, is the guitar tech at the local guitar center in Tacoma. I bought my first tube amp there, a Black Star or something or other, and I never really. I've always heard this shit about tube amps are so great. I'm like, all right, I'll check one out. And I never liked tube amps as a kid because they just didn't have a good distorted sound for rhythm, for metal stuff.
Yeah.
And then I bought that amp, that Black Star, and then about a year or two later, I bought the 5150, the Van Halen series, and I loved those. And then most recently, I bought one of those Kemper Profilers. So I'm playing the first guitar I showed you here, this Carvin CS6 with the Floyd Rose, and I'm playing on that Kemper. Because a lot like Tyler, I was really sick of carrying around this massive pedal board and a 80-pound fucking 100-watt amp, and now I just got like 3 boxes and a guitar, and I'm ready to go. So, and the Kemper sounds amazing. Anybody who hasn't tried a Kemper, I would highly suggest them. They weigh about 8 pounds. They have like 2,000 different simulated things in them, so they're pretty badass.
Wow.
Very cool. You know your shit. Why wouldn't you? You know.
So it's almost like having a tone print then.
Right. Yeah. And then what's really cool is it's versatile. It doesn't just have good distorted tones. We half of our songs have clean parts in them. I wasn't really able to do that in a thrash metal band. I've been able to compose music acoustically, and she was able to sing over that stuff. And I'm a little guarded with a few of the things I was playing the beginning of Land of the Lost, and she's like, I really like that. And I'm like, do you want to work on it? Or so I just changed the key. I moved it from C# to D, or C# to C based on our tuning, but in the position of D on the guitar and around the 5th fret area. And it's, the clean tone thing I've always really appreciated.
Yeah.
So for me, gear's got to be rounded. I imagine as a drummer, it's got to be the action that you want, but also the sound that you love. So tone for me is kind of everything.
Right.
The Kempers really met that challenge for me.
Yeah, something I learned while writing it, because I'm the drummer. I'm just like, we'll go clean and go heavy, but you need certain equipment, certain guitars. You can't just do that. You have to have. I think which one did we get? He'll answer me in a little bit. Which one did we get for specifically that? Because I was starting to write really, really clean and then go heavy and then go back clean. And we had. And let's see, we had the Gibson, and I believe we had to get the Paul Reed Smith for that aspect, because
PRS guitars are kick-ass.
Yeah, yes, they are. We just won that one. We won well, my mom won this one at a benefit that Crash and I hosted for Rock Mama and
Lymphoma Society.
Yes.
Nice.
Paul Reed Smith, thank you. So there I am knowing something about guitars. There we go. So we got this so that the songs I was writing would, have that ability to switch over quickly. But I believe that there's more advanced pedals that help you do that with different guitars now too. Correct me if I'm wrong, string players. But the pedals now are just crazy, amazing.
Oh yeah, they're super good.
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh man.
Yes.
Like my
band. Dark Glass for fucking bass. If any bassist out there, if you have not checked out fucking Dark Glass at all, you're fucking missing out, dude. Because you can find your own fucking individualized tone and sculpt it any way the fuck you want it. And man, that's just been the one thing that I've been using the most is Dark Glass pedals for bass. And for this band, I'm only using one. And I got the sound that I fucking want that meshes well with everybody else. And yeah, Dark Glass has been my fucking thing.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing.
The dream gear stuff. And when you have stuff like that, man, as a drummer and as a bass player and vocalist too, there's always that one piece of gear you're kind of always hunting for. But money is involved. Especially for you poor drummers, because cymbals are out fucking outrageously expensive. I'm so blessed to be a guitar player.
So we found it. Hell yeah.
When you guys go buy a cymbal pack, I'm like, I could have just bought a USA-made guitar that I could give to my great-grandchildren if it was taken care of. I just put fucking strings on it for like $5.
Bro, you guys go out and get a fucking cymbal pack, and I could have got a fucking used car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real, dude. Your guys' cymbal pack is out of control, man. I'm thinking about how many times a year I change the strings, like fucking 2 or maybe 3.
Yeah.
All right.
But
yeah,
you guys and your cymbals.
And if you break a cymbal, trying to replace just one cymbal can cost you hundreds of dollars. Just one fucking cymbal.
Oh yeah.
I saw the look on his face when his Dark Crash or his splash cymbal broke finally, and the look on his face was not fucking stoked.
I know.
Cracking.
Oh man, that was the worst.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
There's
the
graveyard.
Oh man. I mean, you can always drill it out, but I mean, it's always gonna crack again anyway.
Let's weld it.
Yeah.
But there's
weld it.
Oh, but you can't because that changes the tone of the cymbal.
You gotta buff it out and paint it.
It does,
Buff it out. She wants
one
to
of my
build
old
in
drummers
butt it.
was a machinist, so he was
Put
always
some
able
duct
to take
tape
a
on
drill
it.
press
Why?
to it.
Duct tape. I've seen that.
It's funny she says that too, because one of my first good drummers, he was a machinist, so every time he broke one of the cymbals, he'd like take it to work, he'd like get it on the drill press. I'm like, it was all precise. You could like cut anything out.
Oh yeah,
Next
just
thing you know,
drill
he's
it
got
out.
right. Next thing you know, he's got this crazy fucking chopped up piece of Swiss cheese. I'm like, what happened to your cymbal? He's like, what hasn't happened to it? That's the better question. I've been fixing it for like 3 years, and I don't want to spend $400 on a new one. Like $400.
That's funny.
Holy shit!
I guess I like the cheapest equipment, I guess, because I don't really have to pay for anything, but I do have to take care of my health.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And, let's see.
Do you have specific microphones that you like to use?
No, there's nothing specific.
Or just in?
And she's not much of the gearhead type. She just it's my PA we're running through, so I have some pretty decent television speakers and some old school PV USA made monitors that are the tweeters and stuff. And then she brought her own mic. I had a decent Shure something or other, whatever one of the vocal mics was. And she bought her own, and it sounds decent for being in the garage, but, you know, through trials and tribulations. It's hard to sing in a metal band, man. You don't really realize how loud shit is.
Yeah.
So I commend her for that. You know, I have friends that are like, oh, you know, she sounded a little off. I'm like, you want to, you know what, come in the garage, but just me. I'll turn my amp up to how loud I turn it up, and you tell me if you can even hear yourself think, let alone fucking sing with it.
Right. Exactly.
Drummers dictate the volume band, and Tyler is a very
the size of the area that we're practicing in with that amount of noise is crazy.
Hell yeah, dude.
I think one of her last videos she posted on her Facebook was just like, you guys are really fucking loud.
I saw that.
Yeah, you haven't seen nothing yet.
You talked to your homeboy that we ruined every single one of his fucking Saturdays?
Oh yeah,
bro. He came over. Look, Zordy was going live during practice one day, and the neighbor came over and was like, "You guys ruined every single one of my Saturdays," and just started freaking out, dude. And it was all caught live. It was like, yeah, that was great. Anyway, back to the fucking.
Right.
Yeah, it was hot. The garage door was open.
Hilarious.
It was super
just
hot.
Trying to air
middle
of
summer.
Oh.
Just trying to air it out. We ruined every one of his Christian Saturdays. I'm so crushed for him.
Oh.
Yeah, that was basically
I'm surprised he came over.
Turn it up more then.
Well,
they
kept already loud enough. For as long as we've been practicing there, he hasn't said fucking nothing until that one day.
He's been suffering.
Ever since then, I haven't seen him.
He was done.
We are the soundtrack to his ruined fucking summers, bro. He finally got tired of that.
Guys, sorry. When I've seen you guys go live, it's usually in the daytime. So why is he complaining now? If you're playing at 2 a.m, okay, but you play at a decent hour, a decent time.
We play at prime. We play at prime time. It's basically later afternoon to early evening, and that's it.
At that point, to be honest with everybody on the podcast, I was waiting for him to call the cops because the cops had been like, it's between 7 and 7. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know, they're doing it at the right time.
Right.
To be annoying.
Exactly.
So, like, what do you want me to do exactly? And then they got there. Like, we don't drink and smoke. We don't get all fucked up at practice. I would go out there. We're like super well spoken, and Zordy is like
sober,
working toward a PhD and shit. And I work for an engineering team. Like, I'm super well spoken. Like, oh, what seems to be the problem, officer? They would like walk away like band fans. And that guy would be like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck just happened? You're supposed to be getting in trouble. I'm like, I don't know. That metal band's pretty nice. I mean, they were super nice. And as soon as we go like 3 blocks away, they're just going to turn it back up anyway. So.
Yeah, right. We finished the CD, and I was like, I kind of felt bad. I was like, hey, Zach, maybe you should give your neighbor a CD, just for being so patient with us. And he was like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Give us your merch. Thanks for your support.
Well,
yeah, thanks.
I think we've all had the horrible neighbor experience, and usually it's us. I can only imagine playing drums in an apartment or something. Tyler. That's my dream venue. Going over to his apartment and setting up and playing one song and then bailing.
Oh man, can you imagine playing at that place? Oh my god.
He would be late.
Yeah.
Bro, you get thrown out
immediately.
Evicted.
Evicted immediately. Yeah.
Don't they call it a flash mob?
Metal as fuck. That'd be great.
Right.
Hey, we have some new fans for you in the chat.
Now.
Matthew says, Zordia, wow, great pipes you have. Just listened to your song Land of the Lost. Major respect and props to you and the band. And
Thank
Corey was checking you out, following you now, loves you. What great people. Right. Oh, he's off to bed. Night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Good night.
Thanks,
Corey. Good night, Corey.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Well, and we're coming up on just a little under 20 minutes left of the show. And something that we like to ask all of the guests, we talked a little bit about it at the beginning of the show, but advice that you have for other musicians.
Yeah.
Keep practicing. Don't quit practicing for any reason. Any reason, just keep playing.
He did not like that freaking.
He was like,
I'm not answering this. I'm out, guy.
Oh yeah, bro. He tells that to me all the time.
Now he wants back in.
Look at this.
Oh, you're gonna fuck up the rotation now.
Yeah, welcome back.
Oh, bro, you fucked the rotation.
You wanted to be first.
Now we got to pass it to the right hand side.
Circle gets the square.
God damn it.
Oh, good. I'm out. I'm about to shift this. All right, Zach, you go first.
Right.
What was the question?
What advice do you give?
Oh, to other musicians?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the thing I read from Zakk Wylde early on. He's one of my all-time favorite musicians, especially the early Zakk Wylde. Is how he got in to Ozzy's band. He showed up at the audition, and they had some killer, really well-known players, and Zakk was not a well-known player. Zack's confident in his skills, and Zakk knew the fucking songs. And he said, I got that gig because when I sat down after my turn in the room with Ozzy and the band was, he's like, man, this is going to be great. We get to play with Ozzy Osbourne. Isn't that fucking rad? And they're like, yeah, I hear the gig pays really good too. And he said to himself, I knew right fucking there I was going to get that gig because he's staying true to who he is. I'm here because I want to be here. This isn't money is a bonus, right? And I think we all know what that's about. And to prelude that a little bit, he was basically saying, play what you dig. If you love Led Zeppelin and you want to sound like Zeppelin, then play like Zeppelin. Don't do what everyone else is doing just because it's popular. That's not how the most iconic people got where they are, right? They're doing what they really fucking believe in. That's my advice, is follow your heart and play what you did.
Exactly.
Great
advice.
Play what you love. Thank you.
100%.
All right, Wawa, in the center bottom square.
Is it me?
That'd be the center. That'd be the center square. Yep, you are the center square.
Our rotation's all screwy.
My bad.
I mean,
I don't even know what happened. Technical difficulties.
It really takes. It definitely takes a lot of dedication and a lot of practicing, but I don't know. I feel like there is some of it that no matter how good you are, there is a little bit of luck involved with it. But definitely a lot of practicing.
Keep practicing and be dedicated. That seems right.
Good advice, Ty. I guess, Patrick, what's your advice to other musicians?
I mean, basically riding coattails on the whole practicing thing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do anything you want, man. But if music is your passion and music is something that you want to, make your big impact on this part of your life, yeah, just running off of what Zach said, do what you love. If you're not doing what you love on you, change it. If it's not something that you want to hear, not nothing that you want to leave behind for other people to hear, or something that makes you happy, what's the point of even picking it up? If you're gonna do it, do it. And obviously there's going to be some point in time where you're going to have to make some sacrifices to either make something happen and go further with your music, or whatever. But man, if music's your passion, just get it. Why are you waiting around?
Yeah. Fabulous advice. Thank you.
Play, man, and enjoy it. So, Zordia, it's on you.
Okay, so I would say the best advice I can give is to keep challenging yourself, keep changing, keep putting yourself in uncomfortable positions to you better, because that's how people change and grow and become different, and that's how you evolve. Like if I would have just stayed listening to gospel music or hip hop or rap and never like tried to do anything else, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. If I would have also listened to what other people told me at one point, it was like, oh, you're too hip hop for rock, or you're too rock for hip hop, or people just trying to put me in a box, then I wouldn't be who I am. So you just listen to your intuition and you keep pushing and challenging and pushing the envelope, because you're the one that creates your destiny.
Fabulous advice. Thank you.
Right.
And have
something
fun,
else that
man.
goes along with that. I just want to
have fun.
That too. Something I want to add into that, if I just get a second, is it's not the end of the world if you're not the best musician. I don't claim to be the best guitar player in the world by any means, but what my point is like my bass player Lance in Toxic Rain. His skill level wasn't where my skill level was at, and there's nothing wrong with that. She says to keep challenging yourself. If you get into a band with someone you know is better than you, a better drummer, a better bass player, a better guitar player, a better singer than you are at your instrument, they'll make you better. So don't be afraid of all different talent levels. No matter where you are, you have to be comfortable with what you're doing, and that is going to show. So don't forget that. If anybody who's discouraged to get into a band, you have to take the initial thing, like Pat said, there's nothing stopping you except for you.
Yeah.
So that may be one thing we're all been insecure about.
Jump on.
Oh.
Why?
Right. And it's it is.
Oh yeah, why?
Yeah.
Because Zach was fucking dope. He was super good, and I was like, dude, I gotta fucking side with that. I gotta fucking gotta brush the cobwebs off. Gotta fucking And like I said, the only thing that would have stopped me would have been me. And I would have lost this opportunity to not only gain a whole bunch of fucking kick-ass friendship, but also to grow musically and learn new shit from a different because he's got a whole different perspective on how he grew up learning musical theory and that whole route. That wasn't my way, that how I learned, but I think it's great to see everything fuse together and make what a band is, a band of people that have similar or even contrasting differences. And make something flourish out of it, which is, sometimes great, sometimes not. And, but it is what you make it.
Yeah.
Right. And from the perspective of the band, I can't speak for the other two people, but we're lucky to have you because of the same thing. You made the leap, right? You passed the test. It's a two-way street. Sometimes you're surprised by what other people bring to the table. And that's another perspective is from that area,
I love that energy that you all have together. You really appreciate each other and your talents, and you voice that to each other. You give each other props.
Well, it's like a family dynamic.
Yes, it feels good. Yeah, good energy.
You guys hack on each other and support each other, and
it's almost like we're having like a group therapy session right now, and each of us band members. I said this in the group text earlier. I was like, look, we're probably gonna end up finding out more about each other than what we already know in this interview, setting, because this is the first time I've done an interview with Permian, and
cool.
Yeah, there's much to learn from each of us.
That's true. Outside of music, we don't get a lot of time.
You guys having a show like that? We're very focused on what we're doing too. Yeah. That's another big pain in the ass. You guys know what it's like being in a band, dude. Someone's always got something to say, and sometimes this show's gone really well. I'll say that. Not everything in my garage is a good one. Sometimes they're a little bit of a pain in the ass, but
that's how we make the best songs.
You get through it.
A little conflict,
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Mostly between Tyler and Tyler and Zach.
Yeah. To find that point of contention, man.
Oh my goodness.
Put your thumb on it, because it's not going anywhere.
Well, that's only because I got the microphone, right? So I can say whatever I want.
Right?
Yes, girl.
I have the microphone, so you will listen to every word I have to say.
Right.
Well, you are a goddess, and you have every right to do that. So. All hail Zordia.
Hell yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Wow.
You need to invite us back.
If you got, if you guys would have told me like 5 or 6 years ago that there would be a chick singer in your band that wants to put herself in a loincloth riding a unicorn on your album, I'd have been like, that sounds fucking ridiculous. Are you sure you're talking? Are you sure you're talking about me? Because someone's probably going to get the
Zordia, please tell me that is going to happen.
That has happened, okay, because I actually...
Sounds like the best.
I'll post it later.
Yes.
Oh,
and there's glitter.
Oh, of course there's glitter. You bedazzled your, is it softball?
Oh my God, you just made my night.
Yeah.
You just made like my whole week.
Yep, she's a bedazzler. She's dark and mysterious.
Yeah,
and
females are the other half of our species, and they have a much different perspective on basically everything. And then you meet someone like Zordia, and I spent a lot of one-on-one time with her over the last year, and you're amazed at how much she thinks like a dude too. It's pervy and crude, but also feminine and classy, like all at the same time. It's like this weird dichotomy of. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm stealing that.
All my guy friends say that too. They're like, "Oh my God, you act more like a dude than I do." I'm like, well,
right, yeah.
Or maybe they're acting a little more feminine.
Right? That's what I usually tell them, because.
Yes.
Are you in touch with your feminine side, Tyler?
100,000%.
That's why he's always so late. He's ready, he's gonna take his time.
Yeah, I had to do my makeup.
That's why you have that.
He has to do his
such
hair.
a great
his beard.
Grooming
like a half an hour.
Right? I was just thinking that too, Zordia. Like, my beard, my man beard. Put
Ever
the
since he
pomade in
trimmed
there.
off the end,
Get all nice and silky for the
ever
ladies.
since he trimmed off the end, he can't do the kung fu thing anymore. Can you try to do it for us?
Oh.
You can do like
The guy from
He
California.
used to.
The Kill
That
Bill
shit was
guy.
super.
yes, I know
Way long.
exactly what you do. Yes, that's awesome.
You grow
You
that
gotta
back.
Dude, I
About
love
40
those
more
like
years.
old Asian guys with like the mustaches
yeah.
that just go on forever.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
like really super long down here.
Mhm. Put the beads on.
I gotta move this really quick so I can kick someone's ass really quick.
All right, so we have 5 minutes left. So 5 minutes left live, and we want you to plug yourselves. So tell our viewers everywhere that they can find you. Tell us about some of
I
the
swear to God, the
album.
last time I looked at the clock, it was 7:15.
Sorry, they're not going to find
I know,
us
right?
anywhere right now. But Facebook.
We are
Oh, it's almost
never.
9 o'clock
Okay.
already? Damn.
We are right here,
Facebook
right
is
now.
where-
Yeah,
All right.
time flies.
Do you got the Reverb link?
Do you guys have a website?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
do. We're on
We
Facebook.
don't have a website, not yet.
Okay.
We are on Reverb, Reverb Nation. Just Reverb Nation / Permian,
Pandora,
and we'll be right there.
Amazon, like all Spotify. We're all over on all major platforms if you want to listen to our music. But we don't have any shows booked at all. We're going to focus on our second album. Also, the whole COVID thing has really just it's freaking us out, man. There's
Screwed
bands
everything up.
going from venues closing down. I mean, it's just we're going to take our time on booking shows this year. Maybe focus on next year.
Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Other than that, unless you guys come to Zach's garage. That's
well,
Well, I will say too that
in the chat,
between
someone
me
was
and
like,
my other band, my drummer Johnny Myrick, he's in like every other band in the Tacoma area. He's in he's in a band Hellas. He's in a band called Fishy Mushroom. He's in a band called Command, and he's in a band called Ghost. So he's around the Tacoma, Edmonds, King County, Snohomish County, Pierce County, Thurston County area.
Cool.
My other band plays
Fucking
out.
all of the
Wow, he covers a lot of ground,
primarily
man.
based here.
Awesome.
Right, and we're just
Oh,
like
West
all the way to
Orange, yeah,
Everett, you know. Pat goes out to shows, the local shows here in Tacoma, quite a bit. A lot of the Plaid Pig stuff. I'm more of a homebody and stuff, but you can always contact us through our Facebook page. There's the Permian official for booking, so Permian Booking at Facebook.com. And Pat's kind of the pseudo official band manager. We've got some merch we recently purchased. We'll be going into the studio at our buddy Hangar 12 Studios on October 22nd. So it shouldn't take long. Maybe a month or two for us to get the final stuff together and then try to get a mastered copy. And we'll, doing the best we can. It's really hard for the rest of us out here. Oh, there's a shirt.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
We have CDs, but in order to get them, you just got to contact us because we don't have them posted anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll be setting up one of those band camp
Love
things.
the shirts. Nice. Love the merch, you guys.
With all the downtime that COVID's given all of us, I think we'll be able to get a little bit more social media. We do have an Instagram too. I'm personally on Instagram myself, and my screen name here is on that account for Shredder a la mode, like Shredder with ice cream on top.
Shredder,
I post videos like weekly, usually too.
Yes. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, you'll have to keep us up to date on when your album is out so we can help promote it. We'd love to share. Sharing is caring.
Oh, we also have another one. What is it?
Thanks for having us on.
I just got it. This is amazing.
Oh,
So that's
Oh my God. You're
Sordia
my
riding a
hero.
unicorn.
You are my hero,
I told you.
Zordia. Like,
you are
Alternate
I
color
love that
schemes
so
too,
much.
man.
yes, Sordia.
They don't know, but I'm
Yeah,
creating
well,
an
I just want to say on
empire.
behalf of the band,
You are.
I want
Dude,
to say on
that's
behalf of
super
the whole
awesome.
Permian band here that you guys having us on the podcast was awesome. I really love to come back as soon as we can when we have more updates. And you love the show. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys have
Right
another.
on. Thank you, guys.
I'll be watching.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thanks.
And, you know, if you guys ever want to play a virtual show, we do host a virtual concert series once a month.
We do.
So, and you guys just
we're down.
Cool.
Okay.
We'd love to have
send
you.
us a
That's
video
awesome.
or do it live from your garage. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could do
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
Okay.
being on the show. We really appreciated, having you. We had a great time. Absolutely. We'll have you back on. And we'd love to have, any of your other projects and bands on too. We just want to hang out with musicians. That's what we do.
yeah.
Absolutely.
All
man.
right,
All right,
friends.
perfect.
So we must bid adieu. It is that time. So thanks again. It was a rockin' time. And I will take us out.
Bye.
Yep.
right.
Happy Wednesday.
Right on, guys.
Have a rockin' Wednesday, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
See you next week.
Keep rocking.